Alright, so I've come to notice something with Fairy Tail before we get into this review. Something that it lacks that Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and pretty much all Shonen Jump manga seem to have, and Fairy Tail doesn't because it's actually in a different magazine, is that the last page or the last couple pages in like a Naruto chapter, One Piece chapter, Bleach chapter, etc., Bakuman chapter, whatever, always is something huge and something that is really deep embedded in the story that gets you hooked. It's exciting, something, that moves the plot along pretty nicely. And the thing about it is, Fairy Tail doesn't really do that. When it does do that, you get excited and whatnot, but it rarely does that. And that's what I think separates Fairy Tail and why people just aren't flocking to read Fairy Tail and stuff like that, is because it doesn't have that final page where it's like, oh shit, final page, this is crazy. And it might be because either A, Fairy Tail in its magazine is number one, so he doesn't really have to do that, to stay number one, or they don't have rankings, or just the magazine doesn't require him to do that. Maybe all Jump magazine, mangas and Jump have to do that so that they can try to, get the ranks up, and maybe he just doesn't have to do that. And that's one of my theories, I guess, as far as that goes. But that just kind of was something that I noticed, that apart from the other shonen series that I review, Fairy Tail doesn't really do that. So getting into the chapter, Fairy Tail 308. For the most part, it was the fighting with the executioners. It was not really all that exciting, to be honest with you, because my reaction to them was the same exact reaction Natsu had, and I was just laughing at them like, get out of here, you're gonna all become fodder after this fight, so just stop. And, it was just funny to see Natsu laugh at them. I was laughing right along with them, like, they really aren't much, they're not bulky, they're just not strong enough to win this. So, there's one of the executioners, her name is Kamika, and one of her techniques reminds me a lot of Konan from Naruto's move, and it's, I believe, called Paper Blizzard Crimson Dance, and it's just like a bunch of papers, very similar to Konan, and it was kind of funny to see that, and it kind of reminded me of that, and I was like, okay. And the executioners, for the most part, they're not the most impressive. The way Arcadius is there pissing his pants, I would think that they would be like, like some Acnologia type things, and he's just there like all beat up and, oh, please stop. You got a Cosmos, another one of the executioners, using Flower Flourish, and that didn't really look all that interesting or powerful or whatnot. If anything, Kamika's technique looks more cooler because it reminds me of Conan, and it just does. And overall, the fighting between Fairy Tail and the executioners, so to speak, we know they're gonna blow past them eventually, so I guess it was a smart move for Hiro to separate them, because that way it'll create more of a struggle and make Natsu want to get to them more. Like, you got Yukino and Lucy by themselves, and they don't even have keys, so they can't really do jack shit. They're along with Happy, I believe, and Chareru. And it was kind of funny to see Happy try to get big or whatever, and then he just gets tossed away by the guy named Tai, I believe, or something like that. Something along the lines. I think his name is Tai, and it means like fish. So Happy got hyped, like, yeah, I'm going to take this fish out, and then he just gets smacked away. We also get a shot of the princess, which, again, Hiro needs to really just move this along, because it's like every week we get it. I've been saying it for the longest now. The princess, obviously, she's not evil. She looks sad and depressed every time she says something bad. And she says that it seems that all her plans keep on backfiring every time, and that she hopes Arcadios is all right. So I'm guessing judging from that, she has a strong relationship with Arcadios. He's probably doing her bidding, and maybe he actually was a good guy, just doing anything necessary to make the eclipse happen or something like that, is what I'm guessing along those lines. Because, I don't know, judging from her expression, and she seems like a good person, like, she's lying and whatever, and trying to trap them, but I think that's just going along with the, what she has to do as her duties. I think she's actually good, and offhand, it makes Arcadios good as well. I think that Arcadios was doing her bidding and just trying everything possible to get this thing to work, this time machine and whatnot. So I don't think Arcadios is bad after all, judging from the princess and her wanting him to be all right. He's most likely a good guy. And in the end, the chapter, basically, Lucy and Yukino are going to have a tough time, because although this Tai guy looks like he's nothing, the way Arcadios is saying, oh man, he leaves his victims without any bones or without any skin, something like that, and they gotta fight him, and it ends up to be continued. Um, More than likely they're gonna struggle, and they're gonna come up with some, plan and plot a way to defeat him. I'm wondering what his powers is. If his name is Fish, maybe he turns into like some big gigantic shark or something. Maybe something along the lines of that. And that's going to be funny to see Happy's reactions. I don't think it's going to get that serious, to be honest with you, because if you got Happy in there and his comedic relief, and I think it's going to be a funny one. Overall chapter, it was all, whatever. I didn't really get too excited, to be honest with you. And that's the thing. It goes back to earlier what I said, is that it never has that final page where it moves the plot along, or something very developing happens at the end. Like, even in some of Bleach's darkest hours, and I hate to keep deviating away from Fairy Tail, but even in some of his darkest hours, it always had a final page like, ooh, what's Kisuke and Ishin doing? What's going on? And I wish he would do that. I wish we would see, like, maybe even if he would throw the hooded girl and we get like a glimpse of half her face or something at the end of the chapter, just to give us something like, oh, okay, we read this and we got a little interesting thing. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. And that's what I wish Hero would do, but I don't think they require him to do that, or he doesn't care to do it. I don't know. Maybe he's dominated his magazine with Fairy Tail to the point where it doesn't matter what he do, is always going to be number one. Kind of like One Piece, except One Piece always delivers as well for the most part. So, for the most part, the chapter was just like, let's get these executioners out of here already. I don't really care. I kind of just want the Grand Magic Games to wrap up. I want to really get to, because it's most likely going to happen. We are most likely going to have a time travel arc in the next arc. That's probably what's going to happen. And I just want to get to it already, because Grand Magic Games been going on for a while now. These executioners are just a roadblock to getting, this arc done and over with. And really, that's just my overall thoughts. Let's just get through this and move on, because honestly, I just want to see what's this time machine, the Acnologia, Zeruf, and that hooded girl. I want to find out some of these mysteries, because Hero keeps on building up question after question, and we're not getting answers. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to get some freaking answers and see Urza. Once again, I want to see Urza kick some ass, It was cool to see Mita Jane, though. I was glad to see Mita Jane in her fighting stance, in her fighting form. I want to see some Mita Jane ass-kicking action. Again, let me know what you think. What do you think as far as, is Arcadio's actually good based on the whole relationship with the princess and her wanting him to be okay? And just, did you even really care about these executioners? Because to be honest, I don't. It's like, whatever, let's just kick their ass and move on. As always, people, have an awesome day.